Hello everyone, I'm Gaming the Wolf and this is not your average video. I mean, if you came looking for it, it probably was, but this is criticism about Starfield. And unlike every other YouTube video criticizing Starfield, I'm not going to write it off because I love this game. This game is fucking fun. Okay? Okay. Now with that out of the way, uh, yeah, just so you know, spoilers ahead. I'm going to put a time on the screen. Woo! There it is. Skip to that time to skip the spoilery stuff. Because I'm only going to touch up on the story a little bit. I'm mostly going to talk about mechanics later on, but just getting the spoilers out of the way. So, in Starfield, there is a couple of things that other people call plot holes that are technically plot holes because they're not specifically explained. They're not pointed out. They're not.
I think I might sell my trident for a Stroud Echo.
They're. Wait. Why can NPCs buy Trident? I want to buy Trident. Anyways, like I was saying, there's some stuff in the game that people go like are plot holes, but in reality, while yes, plot holes, they're not quite as unexplained as people say. A good example would be the Starborn, like the emissary and the hunter. Oh, speaking of the hunter, when you first meet both of them, they sound in a certain way. And people always criticize the emissary because, the game doesn't know who that's going to be. Right? So, they sound in a certain way. Then when your companion, one of the companions die, one of the constellation members die, they are brought back as the emissary. And then when that's revealed, they sound completely different to the emissary. And to me, that's not quite a plot hole because the same thing happens with the hunter. And the hunter is always the exact same person. I can't talk with you. Okay. But he is always the exact same person, and he sounds different with and without the visor. So if he sounds different with and without the visor, a lot of the criticism that people have about the emissary sounding different with and without the visor, and pointing that to the, the game not really knowing who the emissary is supposed to be at the beginning, and then, because of that, the writing team having to do some very big loop jumping through hoops, right? They criticize that as the problem to the voices. But again, the hunter is always 100% going to be the same person every time. And the same thing happens. The same thing happens with him, where the way he talks and the way he sounds is completely different when his visor is see-through. And to that, I say it's not quite a loophole, it's not quite a plot hole, I mean. But yeah, it's definitely not explained. But think of it this way, okay? In the game, you're dealing with artifacts. Artifacts that don't quite follow the laws of physics. Right? And with those artifacts, you can find temples that don't quite follow the laws of physics. And those temples give you powers that don't quite follow the laws of physics. And then when you become a Starborn, you get given a ship that doesn't quite follow the laws of physics. So why would the suit follow the laws of physics? Like everything else surrounding the Starborn, surrounding the powers, surrounding the Unity, doesn't follow the laws of physics. So why would the suit be the only thing following the laws of physics? Why would it just work like a normal helmet with, your voice being basically filtered out a little bit? Right? why not make the suit actually say exactly what you mean to say instead of how you say it? Because again, both characters, both Starborn that you talk to, they sound different depending if the visor is visible or not, like if it's see-through or not. So, going back to my point, if everything surrounding the Starborn doesn't follow the laws of physics, are you counting the stars? If everything surrounding the Starborn doesn't follow the laws of physics, why would the suit do? Like, I'm not saying it's explained, it's definitely not explained. It's slightly hinted at with, both the emissary and the hunter, but that's a very small sample pool, so we don't really know if that's actually what's going on. There's not enough evidence, there's not enough samples. Because that was one of the biggest complaints people had. One of the ones that are easier to disprove. And I know I'm going for low-hanging fruit here for story-wise, but it's something basic that 5 minutes, 5 seconds of thought can answer you. So yeah, maybe I'll do a separate video about the story, but that'll be after I finish it on my series. Anyways, spoilers are out. I already talked about the story. So, welcome back for those people who skipped. Hope those 2 seconds were great. It was like 5 minutes for me. But, yeah. I'm gonna start talking about mechanics and the world of Starfield. So, no spoilers, I guess. No spoilers ahead. Here's your non-warning. So, since we're here in New Atlantis, let me talk about one of the bigger pet peeves I have about it. The gnat. It's just there. It doesn't move, it doesn't run. You have a nice little non-map here. Tells you where stuff is. It's very amusement parky. It's waiting for you as the player. And even if NPCs use it, all they do is walk up to it and vanish. Right? So what if, it was constantly running and there were 6 gnat cars going around the tracks? One always stopped, for the most part, always stopped at every station. Where, you see the gnat start like dropping there, start moving, and then this one closes and starts going. So a few seconds later, the next one arrives. Right? And then you can walk up to it, and instead of just having open, which by the way, it opens a selection screen instead of actually opening the door. It does open the door, but not fully. Instead of, doing this, the gnat arrives, the door opens, you're able to walk inside and sit down. And then you can press Y in Xbox controller. You can press the wait button, and it opens this screen instead. That way, if you want, you can just sit in the gnat and look at the scenery. Like, the area around New Atlantis looks good. And, for those who want to have the immersive experience, they can just enter, sit down, and go along with the train. But those who don't want to do that, they just have to sit down, press wait, and choose their destination. And then if someone chooses the destination, for example, Mast, right? They choose the destination, screen fades to black, comes back up, right? But instead of just spawning you there,
Good to see you again.
you've been with me the whole time. Yeah, you better avoid eye contact. No, instead of just spawning you here like, oh, look at me, I just teleported, right? Instead, an animation plays of your character like walking out, and then you regain control a second or two later. It's not too long, and it, lets the player know that, oh, the character did in fact take the train, take the nap. Another thing, since we're here unmasked, why are these things here?
I'm so
Like,
excited to
first
see
of
what we
all,
have to work.
they're not good for shade because we're already underground. And second, they look like solar panels. And again, we're underground. Why are they here? And why are the information kiosks so far away from the entrance? They should be lined up here. You know, for people entering New Atlantis, you should have one here, probably one here, one there, one here, and then have like a couple on the wall here. That makes more sense because, you know, if a tourist came to New Atlantis and they ran to catch the net and didn't get to see the other information kiosks down at the spaceport, when they arrive here, they can at least, you know, take a ride and, oh, would you look at that? But as of right now, if you're in game in the world, if you're a tourist, you get here and you're like, okay, I'm at the mass station. What does that mean? You know, you're like, oh, what does that mean? And you'll be distracted by all the lights and miss the information kiosks because they don't quite look like information kiosks. Because, you know, they're a little far away and you'd be distracted by that. You'd be distracted by the lights, the size of the station, you know, the aquariums. You'll be distracted by that, and because the information kiosks are so far out of the way, in lore, in game, in world, anyone here would be lost. Because not a lot of people would go out of their way. There's nothing here to call their attention. So if they don't want to change the kiosk, if they don't want to change the position of the kiosks, what I would recommend is change this aquarium to like a little snack store. And have like a sign and maybe some like chairs, benches, and what's it called, vending machines, and have that there.
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day.
That way,
Don't you agree?
when people arrive, they'll get hit with the smell of food, and they'll look around. They'll see that over there, walk, and then, hey, would you look at that? An information kiosk. Not that much of the of complaints here. The map needs to be different though, because it needs to be a map first of all. Here at the residential district, which is where I assume the hotels are. Oh, okay, never mind. There is an information kiosk pretty close. But I would probably put another one here.
They're incredible.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I definitely put
Yeah,
at least
I saw the
2.
trailer for some of their new products, and I
But
gotta say,
you know that this information kiosk is actually in a good place because you'll walk, you'll see the structures, and then you'll want to know how to get there. And you'll be like, oh, information kiosk, nice. There you go. Okay, that's actually good. I didn't know this kiosk was there. Second, let's go to the commercial district actually. The commercial district has a bit of a quirk that I noticed the first time I was here. Can you spot it? Can you see it? No? Okay. Here it is. The mesh for the wall on the pool is just a few units shifted. Just slightly shifted. But I know it's not a scale issue because on this side it's slightly shifted inwards. Right? It's shifted a little bit west. For those who didn't know, okay,
Hey.
if you go to the Ballberg building here, into the elevator, take it down, you'll see the Argus Extractors offices. This is the company you start at. And if you talk to this woman, you can actually claim damages for the pirate attack, which is hilarious. Small little details that not a lot of people know about. I'm going to talk about the park in front of the lodge. So, this is a neat little park. It's nice, it makes sense. You know, there's benches everywhere, there's lights. There should have been like little balconies up here for your people to actually overlook the wall, but again, small nitpicks. If you lived in a wall city like this with crazy animals on the outside, you'd probably want to avoid people angering said animals. So I'll leave the lack of balconies, the lack of alcoves. I'm gonna give it a pass because, you know, there's dangerous fauna past the walls. Anyways, back to the little park at large, like the little park design. Love that there's, you know, garbage bins everywhere. That's awesome. You know, keeps the streets clean, keeps the park clean. What I don't like though is the very sizable lack of maps for the park. Which, for a New Atlantis native, that probably isn't the problem. But for all the tourists wanting to look at the, you know, sculptures, they'll be like, where the hell am I going? You know, and then go like, cool, there's another thing here. Where am I on the park? Yeah, there is a very noticeable lack of maps for the park. And usually the parks I go to, when they're big enough and they have like actual pedestrian paths, there is like little maps telling you like, oh, you're here. And they also tell you like, oh, there's a garbage bin here, there's a garbage bin there, there's an entrance there, there's a point of interest here, you know, the lodge. What I would also add, first of all, I would extend the wall actually to the curb here on both sides. Because while it is, you know, the lodge and pretty much they have, their doors are locked. You need the watch to enter. But at the same time, they would probably let people take pictures. That's why there is a bench. And I would also add like a little plaque talking about the history of the lodge. When it was founded, who it was founded by, and who runs it. So basically like, oh, Sebastian Banks founded Constellation, blah blah blah. They built the lodge in the year, I don't know, and whatever. But yeah, there is a very big lack of maps. Also, does this lead to the outside of the city? What? It does lead to the outside of the city. What? I didn't know that. I thought the wall surrounded the entire park. Oh, that's cool. Oh, now Bethesda definitely needs to add motorcycles or something alike. Because there is no way people wouldn't want to ride their bikes or whatever over here. Someone would certainly go like, I don't know, 50 or so meters from the entrance there. Maybe more. Probably go this far. Oh, actually, this far is fucking perfect. Someone would certainly build a fucking motocross. I'm swearing, god damn it. Yeah, like, There is no way someone wouldn't make like a motocross track here. Like, yeah, like add a ramp here and you jump over the little pond. Then over here you go and like around this one, like, oh, Simeon, wouldn't you want motocross in Starfield? Oh, that'd be awesome. But like I was saying, the game needs maps for the park here. Anything else I want to talk about New Atlantis? Oh, absolutely. Okay, so why are all the stores behind loading screens? Like, you walk in here, and guess what?
The majority of citizens here in New Atlantis count on reliant medical.
Yeah, congratulations.
Reputation speaks for
But
itself.
here, this little room fits inside the building. Like, properly fits inside the building. Why is it a loading screen? Like, let's see. Yeah, it absolutely fits inside the building. Why is it a loading screen? Why is it a different cell? Oh, here, perfect. NPC goes in. I go right after the NPC. And there's only the doctor. Yeah. Anyways, another thing I would add, I would probably move this around and add a room back there for like not quite intensive care, but people that need more care. Again, this doesn't need to be a loading screen. And that's the thing with pretty much everything. Every store in Starfield. Like, let's go to CJ's. Or actually, no, let's go to the fashion. Yeah, the EIT clothiers.
Ranger.
That ranger? How do you know I'm a ranger? Like, again, this is a store. Like, clothing store. There should be A, more mannequins. B, a fitting room. And C, customers. And also the interiors are not so...
Please let me know if I may assist you.
The interiors are not so populated that there needs to be a loading screen. Like, this is pretty sparse. So why is there a loading screen? Oh, you know what? Is it because the inside doesn't fit with the outside? No, it does fit. What the hell? Come on, Bethesda, you're better than this. It has the same shape. Here's the corner. Wait, is it long enough? It's actually bigger on the inside. Okay, then why not use that real estate behind this area and turn that into the store, you know? Make it open. That way you can have actual windows with the mannequins on display. That way it doesn't look like NPCs are staring at, you know, nothing. Yep, he vanished. And IT clothiers. No one inside. I would add a door somewhere behind the desk here that leads to like a storage area. Because why wouldn't you have a storage area? Right? Now, the biggest problem is elevators. Why are they loading screen? Oh, that's actually kind of funny. Inaccessible. Okay. Why are elevators loading screens when Fallout 4 didn't have that? You know? Fallout 4 didn't need loading screens for elevators, for most of them. They, Sorry, I'm getting distracted. This is the exact same house as my parents with different furniture. And the room is missing. Anyways, why are elevators this instead of, you know, elevators? It doesn't elevate me, it teleports me. And then here, open 49 hours a day because, you know, Jameson has 49-hour days. I would probably add another shelf here with more stuff, but this is actually not bad. But again, it doesn't need to be a loading screen. And you should at least have NPCs walking around, you know, making purchases. Another information kiosk. Lovely. Fun fact, it's not Centurion, it's Centaurian. Like Alpha Centauri. I love puns. But yeah, again, it doesn't need to be a loading screen. And it doesn't need to be empty. Put NPCs. And as a matter of fact, why is every store open 24/7? And the stores that are open 24/7, why don't they have multiple people working the desk at different times?
You've shown you make good decisions.
You
I
know?
like that about you.
Like, maybe have, you know, a day shift and a night shift. In New Atlantis, with 49-hour days, have, like, you know, 2-3 people working the store. And basically they rotate it every 8 hours. Because again, they would come back for the last hour of the first or the last person's shift. Right? So they get 8 hours of sleep plus 5 hours to do whatever they want. 3 people rotate in shifts because, you know, that way you don't have one person working 49-hour days. And then, you know, when the person leaves, they walk out. They probably go to CJ's, get some groceries or a snack or whatever. Then they walk to whatever tower they live in. And they go there for like 8 hours. Like in-game universal hours. Then after 8 hours, they come out. They go to a restaurant, like, you know, Don's Roost, or they buy another snack at CJ's. And they relax somewhere until their shift starts. And then an in-game hour before the shift starts, they walk in, right, to where they work. And they sit down behind the desk. And then when their shift starts, you know, they stand up and they also start managing the desk with the other person who is on their last hour of their shift. And then when that person's shift ends, they stop manning the desk, they walk out, and they again, game does a small dice roll. They either go to a restaurant, they go to the grocery store, or they just relax and eat whatever they have in their inventory. Also, this is a very dumb design. There's a lot of real space that's being left on the wayside. Also, Simeon, that's uncomfortably close. Thank you. But yeah, I have customer interactions with people, with the salesperson. Yeah, also I have more customers eating. Also, shouldn't he have a cash register?
There are so many options.
You really should decide.
There's
Please.
9 options. That's not a lot. one thing I am going to complain, this kiosk doesn't have a dispenser. So if I'm buying, where is it coming from? And also, why does it need to take the entire screen?
Just order.
Computers don't need to take the entire screen. Just do it like you did in Fallout 4. Also, back to elevators. This didn't need to be a loading screen. It could have just been an elevator ride. Hello.
It's good to have you home.
The house feels alive. You're
Hello.
welcome anytime. And I need you.
Simeon, be respectful of the decor. You didn't see anything. But yeah, this elevator could have just been, you know, like the elevator cell in Fallout 4 that teleports you to an elevator that simulates an elevator moving, then it teleports you to the destination. That could have been it. But Bethesda decided to not do that for some reason. Anyways, this concludes. Who the fuck says concludes? So, yeah, this is pretty much everything, most of the stuff I wanted to complain about from Starfield. And this is complaining and not whining because I'm giving solutions. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I know this isn't a normal entertainment video. Probably not going to be seen by that many people. Literally had 7 views on the other one, so don't expect more than that. But if you found something that I said to be interesting, to be true, something you want to build upon, leave it in the comments. Some engagement, doesn't hurt. And all criticism, all engagement, good engagement we can have for this game, for it to be better as Bethesda updates it, the better, Where are these lights coming from? Oh, before I forget, when people say that, New Atlantis being the biggest UC city makes no sense, it's like, all of those are windows. Which means all of that is apartments. All of that is living space with some underground communal space. Or at least that's what it looks like. So, New Atlantis is as big as it needs to be. Because it's on both sides. Look at that. Anyways, like I was saying, if you found something I said to be true, to be interesting, to be fun, leave a like, leave a comment, discuss the game. But discuss it for the better. Make criticism. Make criticism of my videos, my style of talking, of my style of videos. Criticism is good when it's criticism. But when it's whining, it doesn't help anyone. So, thank you everyone so much for watching. This has been Gaming the Wolf. This is Starfield. And this has been my unscripted thoughts. Thank you. And I hope to see you later.